I failed the challenge already.
Okay.
I think I was like in my second week, and it was the weekend, and I was hungover, and I did not do. Oh, that's the other thing.
You're not supposed to drink.
I'm not supposed to drink.
Welcome back again to She's Homemade. We're your hosts. I'm Brooke.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to jump right into New Year's resolutions because it is January and we've set some. Yeah, we've set some. Do we feel good about them? Do we not? We're gonna kind of give you an idea on where we stand.
Yeah, the whole thing about resolutions is like, do they actually work? What are resolutions compared to goals?
Yeah.
And are they being implemented? And why at the new year it's a fresh start? Like it does make it like a jumping off point, which I do really like, a little bit of a reset. You do get into some bad patterns, especially towards the end of the year with Christmas and the holidays. Yeah. So
And do you always set
Yes.
New Year's resolutions? Okay.
I do. Do I always follow them? No.
I don't think. Okay, and I read it.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up. So researchers suggest that only 9% of Americans, which I attribute it to Canadians.
Yeah, that's
too,
fair.
But make resolutions that actually complete them. So that's 9%. So that's all year. In fact, research goes on to show that 23% of people quit their resolution by the end of the first week. And 43% by the end of January.
Holy.
Yeah, and then I saw another statistic saying, 9% complete them. But I also saw a statistic saying that, like, there's a percentage that don't even start. Like, they set all of these, and I'm like, I sort of fell into that. They say, like, I haven't started it yet. I'm like, it's the 18th today. And when we, like, actually post this, it might be later.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've already started some things, but, like, my fitness stuff, I was sick last week. And I mean, like, you can make excuses all year. So
exactly.
I'm like, tomorrow, hold me accountable for that. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, if you're going to make a resolution, don't pick resolutions that you hate.
Totally. I agree with that.
Like, you got it to a point, want to do something.
Yeah.
Like, and I am the first one to admit that I hate working out.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Never been a fan of it. I only do it because I feel like I need to for my health.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, once you get, like, I'm lucky. I've always been in sports when I was young.
Yeah, same.
I've always been thinner. My family's all, like, relatively healthy. My mom, like, works out a lot.
Yeah.
We have, like, just a healthy family lifestyle. My husband is...
Yeah, mine
like,
too.
Very, very healthy. So I feel like I've always, like, I haven't really had to try that hard.
Right.
And I'm like, I kind of, I go to the gym with him. I do whatever. But I haven't really had to, like, set my own schedule, I find, with, like, fitness in general. Okay. But this year I'm really making it, like...
A priority.
A priority. And not necessarily for... Well, partially because I want to fit into, like, some of the clothes that are in my closet that I haven't fit into since, like... Well, not before I had kids. No, because I'm like, I'll never fit back into that. I'm totally okay with that. And I think a lot of women need to, like, realize that too. But I'm like, I know what my realistic weight is and where I want to be. And I'm like, I know I can hit that. I just have to actually get into, like, my biggest thing with my New Year's resolution goal is I made it very, like, realistic, but also, like, something that I actually want to do. Like, my goal isn't like, okay, I want to work out 5 days a week and this is what I want to do. It's like, my goal is to get more into, like, a consistent habit.
Yes.
So that I'm actually, and that goes for all my goals.
Same.
Like, not just fitness, but, like, everything that I'm doing, I'm like, it's consistency. Yeah. I want it to become a habit. I don't want to be like, I'm forcing myself to do this. I hate it.
Same.
And whatever. It's like, I want it to become a habit to a point where, like, by the end of the year, I'm like, I don't have to reset the same goal.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm like, okay, this is something that I've, like, implemented into my schedule and my life, and I'm continuing to do it.
It's a lifestyle.
And now my goals will be totally different next year because I'm like, I'm that much further ahead too, right?
So I think the, like, key thing to focus on with resolutions and goals for that matter is breaking them down into the why. Yeah. Which we've talked about.
Well, we did a huge thing on goal setting this year. And I think it really, like, and
it opened my eyes.
Yeah, and I've never been, like, a New Year's resolution person, like, ever.
Right.
And this year when we did, like, our business goals and just life goals, and me and my husband actually got together this year that. And did our, like, family, just life goals and, like, where we want to be in 5 years. And I'm like, I sat down and was like, You know what? I'm actually going to set myself New Year's resolutions this year because I'm like, I actually have something that and I think it's so important, like goal setting and stuff. Whereas before, I think everyone sets a New Year's resolution. They're like, just because it's like a trend, everybody does it. And I'm like, if you don't actually have, like you said, I'm like, we really were clear with our goal setting this year.
Yeah.
Within She's Homemade with our business.
Yep.
On like, what are our whys? And that really steered me.
It fuels them. So that's where it comes from. Like, oh, I don't want to work out. I hate it. Well, my why is, okay, like I'm getting a little older and family history that I have now seen in my life. It's like, wow, I actually need to work out for my health.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I do have like heart issues in my family, stroke issues in my family. So it's like, for me, I don't want to work out to look fit. I don't really care about that. I want to work out to be healthy. I want to get my blood pumping. I want to be like alive and well.
Yeah.
So my why is really important to me. And so far I have been keeping up with
tell us, because you've been doing 75 hard
challenge.
Kind of.
I
but
changed
I'm like, tell
it
us
to
how
medium.
you did it. Because I'm like, I wish I would have started it with you. I'm like, maybe I'll jump on it for when you do it.
So I did start the 75 hard challenge, which is like a TikTok trend.
Yeah. Which everybody, and I'm like, you have to tell everybody what the hard is and then what you're doing.
Yes. So the hard is like no alcohol, eating healthy, like a rigid diet, working out twice a day for 45 minutes each one of them is outside.
I would like to mention that it's like minus like 30 outside with the wind, and I'm like, that is something that's unrealistic.
So that's why I tweaked mine, right?
Yeah.
I hate the cold. I hate winter. I don't go outside, let alone to work out. So I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's like reading every day, journaling every day. Oh, and drinking a gallon of water a day. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's
you've told me before, but I'm like, what do you think is the hardest thing that you're doing right now?
The water.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Like, the water, to get that much water intake a day is, if I'm not focusing on it and actively trying to, it's very hard.
And also, I feel like your body, and you said your body went through, like you're like peeing multiple times a day. I drank like a gallon of water one day just randomly, like, because I was just drinking more. And I'm like, I had like a gut ache.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's like, it's getting into a routine.
Yes.
What's important.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I don't pee as much
as you did last week.
I did last week. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so my medium challenge. So I tweaked mine.
So you called it the 75 medium because you're tweaking it.
Yeah. I made it a little less challenging and a little more conducive to my lifestyle.
Totally.
I do one workout a day. I also don't I do 45 minutes of activities, but it's not a 45-minute workout. Sometimes I'll do a 30-minute workout and a 15-minute walk, or sometimes, like, I just make sure that I'm active for 45 minutes a day.
Okay.
The gallon of water a day, very difficult. What else did I add?
Yeah, but how are you implementing that into your life, though?
Oh, yeah. So I'll flavor my waters now.
Okay.
Every morning I'll do lemon water, because also I've read some research that lemon water in the morning is really good for your liver.
Okay.
So that's just like a bonus.
I actually just like lemon water.
I do too.
Better than regular water.
And it's just
too.
like, if you're drinking a gallon of water a day, I'm getting bored of it. And I only drink water ever. I don't drink pop. I don't drink juice.
Yeah.
I only drink water, and I'm finding it hard to get down. And then so the other thing is like, if I've had my 7 glasses of water a day and I have to do one more at bedtime, I'll make it into a green tea.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm counting that.
Like healthy.
I'm counting it towards me.
Yeah.
It's so funny though. So I actually am documenting my journey
I saw
on TikTok.
I love it.
And I did get hate on the last one. Okay. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't.
Because I failed. I failed the challenge already.
Okay.
I think I was like in my second week, and it was the weekend, and I was hungover, and I did not do. Oh, that's the other thing.
You're not supposed to drink.
I'm not supposed to drink. But the medium is I'm doing one day a week.
Yeah. Like a Friday evening.
Yeah.
Like whatever,
and so I drank the one day, and the next day I didn't do my workout. So I thought I was being like super transparent, honest, being like, hey guys, I failed.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep going. I'm not going to call it quits on my 75 medium.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick back up.
Which is what a New Year's resolution is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, by day 5, you're like, well, I'm already 5 days out. For me, I'm like, okay,
exactly.
I'm like, could you imagine if I was just like, well, I haven't worked out for the first 2 weeks, so
I'm just not going to do it.
it.
Right. So I challenged myself the next day to do a workout, get back onto the routine. Yeah. Yes, technically I failed the medium challenge, but like I am trying to implement this as a lifestyle change. And I don't intend to stop after the 75 days. The 75 challenge was more of just like a kickstart.
Yeah. But I think too, the reason they set it at 75 days is because like it takes, and this is with anything, like including your business, fitness goals, anything, like in order to implement like a habit and like a schedule, you have to do it for like, some people say like 3 months, some people say longer, whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, you can't just like do something for a week and then be like, this is my life now. Yeah. You know, that's why they say 75 days.
Yep. And so, yeah, I'm doing that. That was one of my resolutions. I did start it on January 1st. Yeah. I am going strong other than the workouts, which just suck. I hate them. Yeah. But again, you have to bring it back to your why. Make sure you're understanding why it's important to you. And it does help. Like, I think about it and I'm like, well, I want to be healthy for my kids. I want to be active for my kids.
It's actually like one of the things with fitness for me, like as a mom, that I'm looking at too, because I always thought like, you know, I've always been like a confident person. But now after like I had, and I think a lot of women can relate to this, like I had 3 kids back to back to back. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I started going to the gym like last year with my husband was I was like, I kept throwing my back out. Oh yeah. And I was like, people don't realize like how much trauma your body goes through. Totally. It's beautiful. Like, and I loved being pregnant. I did. And I think it's like such a wonderful journey. But after having like 3 kids back to back, I lost like so much muscle. Yeah. And like, I think my body really like after the 3rd pregnancy was like chill. Yeah. But I kept throwing my back out. So I was like, I need to like, and instead of, you know, just being like, oh, well, this is just who I am now. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start going to the gym. Yeah. I'm going to try to like strengthen my muscles so that this is, and I also like, I don't want to have to be worried about like running and peeing when I'm like trying to run and chase my kids around and play with them too. Yeah. Like that's what my, like a big goal of mine is this year is just like get back into like a normal shape where like those thoughts of like, you know, motherhood and like, oh, peeing when you sneeze and all those like stigmas and also like blowing my back out. Cause I'm like, I don't want to have to think about that. Like I'm still young. Yeah. And like you said, you don't want to have to think about like all of your like family history and like, oh, now, you know what I mean? It's like just getting genetics, into like a healthier mindset and also just a place where like I don't have to like really think about my physical health when I'm playing with my kids and stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. 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 And then, so the other thing about like my goals that I'm doing, I have business goals, I have real estate goals, I have She's Homemade goals. We've broken them down, right, into actionable items. So it's like, just because you have a goal and you want to hit it by a certain date, well, okay, how are you getting there? Yeah. I think you have to really like break down the goals and write down like, what are you doing to hit that goal?
Yeah. And we also wrote down too, I think it's important to mention, like, even when we were doing all of our She's Homemade goals, we did every goal as a why. Yep. And we were like, what's our motivation to do this? Not just like, here's what we're going to do. Yeah, exactly. And this is like something, I mean, it's like, okay, well, why are we doing this? Yeah. Like, ultimately, what's this going to get us and why is this like important enough to like put as like a main goal on our sheet? And I think too, like, again, New Year's resolutions, I think there's like a big, and I mean, the statistics show, like, I think people just like set them to set them. But I'm like, when you really like, we were planning our New Year's resolutions and our goal setting like 2 months even into 2023. And now like I'm still kind of like fine tuning mine into January. And I think that's important too, not to just like do them on December 30th and be like, here's my goals, I'm going to do it. And I think that's what a lot of people are like, this is my New Year's resolution. And then that's why they don't stick to it, because they don't go through.
They don't plan it.
Yeah. And I'm like, also, like you said, they have to be like, people say SMART goals. And I think your like New Year's resolutions kind of have to be like that too. Like even 75 hard, you're like, you changed it because you're like, this is just not realistic. Yeah.
You have to make it work for your lifestyle. Yeah. And the other thing too, like I was saying.
And not be so drastic either right off the start.
Yes. Yeah. Like baby steps.
Totally.
So I think that's where my 75 challenge came in, is like, I wasn't going to make a goal that I'm going to work out every single day. Yeah. That's absurd. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. But for the 75 hard or medium challenge, it's just training me to get into the routine of working out every day for the first little bit. And then it's like, if I miss a day here or there through the
and I know your kids were home the first week, and you're like, I'm not actually like doing any outside, like I'm doing them all at home with my kids at home, and like you kind of like moving it around to your schedule, which I think is good too. Yeah,
you have to be flexible, and you have to, and I could have made that an excuse. I could have been like, oh, my kids are home, I can't get to the gym, I'm not working out. No, I went on YouTube.
Like me. I was like, I'm sick. Bye.
Well, sick's different. I think sick's different. But, like, I went on YouTube. I found home workouts, and I did them in my basement. So, I mean.
And I think, too, it's funny. I actually, like, just saw somebody on Instagram today be like, you know, you have to change your mindset from motivation sometimes, too. Because, like, you're not always going to have motivation to do things. It's being consistent and, like, just – like, I'm not motivated to go to the gym. I'm like, I push myself to go there. It's not like, oh my God, I feel great. Let's do it every day.
I don't even feel great after, like everyone lies.
Yeah.
I felt so great for that. No, you don't.
Yeah, you're just like.
Your body hurts, you're sore, but you know that soreness is building muscle. So that's what you feel good about.
And it's a long-term goal. I think for people that are like, they set their New Year's resolutions too, thinking like, I'm going to change my life in January.
Right.
And it's like, that just doesn't happen. Like, that's why they call it like a year's resolution. Right. Because you want to look at yourself in December. And I think that's like more realistic too, because you can't just like start doing something and then be like even you, all the goals that you're setting, you're like, you're not thinking that you're going to be a changed person on December 30th.
No.
Or sorry, on January 30th. But on December 30th, 2024, you're like, my habits have changed.
I'm healthier.
Yeah, and I think that's why, too, like, baby steps. And you don't have to change your life in a year.
No.
And I think that's the difference, too, is some people set, like, such drastic stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Like, you have to, like, if you set, and that's why me and my husband did 5-year goals.
Yeah.
Because we were like, where are we in 5 years? And then let's break it into, like, smaller steps of, like, 1, 2, 3. So that's why my New Year's resolutions, like, they're not drastic. No. I'm an active person. Even my business goals, like, they're not, like, I'm not jumping from, like, you know, doing this much a year to, like, something completely outrageous. Crazy. I'm like, I'm just trying to, like, make small stepping stones so that, like, in 5 years from now, in a year from now, I'm changed. But in 5 years from now, I'm, like, drastically different.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and I think change is good. Like, I think it's important to set those goals.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just don't even try. And I think that's a difference, again, of, like, being an entrepreneur. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
On just having, like, a different mindset when you're running your own business, too.
Yeah, and
change is important.
I mean, no, you're not accountable to anyone when you're an entrepreneur. So you have to set your own goals.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one cares about your success.
Yeah, and we've been really good. We have a couple people in our circle, but even me and you, back and forth, like, we try to keep ourselves accountable. Like, what are you doing this week? And I'm, like, checking in on your 75 buddy. Hard. I'm not even doing it. Or 75 medium.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm kind of checking in on you. Yeah. And then we're, like, meeting once a week, and we're trying to keep on top of each other too, so that, and that's part of my problem too. And I've said in the last podcast episode, I am a master procrastinator. So for me, accountability is awesome because I'm like, I need that, like, even little sense of check-ins. Like, just the check-ins is just good for me because I'm keeping it in the back of my mind too. Like, I can't just procrastinate
Andrea's gonna ask me about
over
this
and over again. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like that's what we were saying. Like, accountability partners or buddies is a game changer.
Okay, we weren't going to talk about this on this podcast.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, we weren't going to. But I'm like, I'm actually, I want you to talk about your positivity partner.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I will.
Because you've told me about this a few months ago, and now I'm like, it just fits.
Yeah, okay. So it is,
you did this with somebody else, and we've talked about maybe doing it.
Yes. So, and we kind of are doing it. It's just not as, like, set in stone.
Yeah.
But we're basically, once I tell you everything in it, we're basically doing it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of going through a period where I was, like, really, like, blah, and I had just left. No, I hadn't left my team yet on my own. But I kept having this, like, idea pop up that I should leave, and I didn't know if I should or not. And I was in a really stagnant place, and I was just feeling really blah, and so was my friend at the time. And so I said, you know what, like,
and you guys weren't in the same industry,
No,
right? Like,
not at all. But she was feeling the same way. I think it was kind of like a reverb of COVID. I think we were just coming out of COVID, and everyone was just feeling gross.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, like, let's do something about this. Like, let's change ourselves. So this was in the summer of 2022.
Okay. So really, like, almost 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's actually crazy what had come from this. So
Just tell us what you did. Like,
yep. So I think there was like 5 things that we agreed to do to each other or with each other. And we started in like June. One of them was every morning, whoever woke up first we would text each other to smile. There's been research done that if you wake up with a positive attitude and you smile at yourself in the mirror, you genuinely are happier and your day goes better. So we were like, okay, like send a smile text to each other, whoever wakes up first, and then the other one gets it back. And it sounds so lame and corny, but I would physically smile at, like, you have to smile.
Yeah, because otherwise if you're just reading it and you're like,
yeah, but it's and then like every once in a while I'd send like an inspirational quote to her in the morning, like so like cliche or lame, but like it worked.
Yeah.
And then it was like holding each other accountable for working out. We also went to yoga together once a week, every week without fail. We were getting our bodies moving together. And then another one was like no talking badly about anyone or ourselves.
Cool.
We were
I like
allowed,
that a lot because it's like so much.
We were allowed to have like venting.
Women. Yeah, that's different though.
We were allowed to vent, but like no talking badly about ourselves.
Yeah.
No being down on ourselves, and no talking badly about other people.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? I think healthy eating was included. And then also just like motivating each other. Like, okay, I want to do this by this time. Okay, let's go. Like, let's make a plan on how to do it.
Yeah.
So basically,
and how long did you do it for?
So we did this for a span of 7 months together.
Okay.
And in that 7 months, from June till January, I decided to leave my team.
Okay.
And go out on my own, which I did during that time. I mean, coincidental maybe, but I believe that my mindset changed because 3 months after I implemented this is when I decided to leave. A month after that,
though, when you're like a happier person, you realize like what you really need to like.
Yeah, things became clear, and I was focused more on my goals. I was focused more on my future. A month after I left, I threw my first Women in Business event. That was unreal and such great positive feedback. I met a ton of women from there. And then from that, it spiraled and like more opportunities kept coming to me. So that was when I got my speaking opportunity the following March. And so it's just like I just felt myself like leveling up. And it wasn't even like I was miserable or like ragging on myself beforehand, but it was the conscious effort of being positive. I've really maintained implementing these practices that I found or did for the last 2 years. And look at all like the wonderful friends that I've met. And like now we have accountability in our little group. Like it just feels great.
Yeah.
Like it matters. Your mindset matters.
Yeah. And again, going back like that, even I think that relates to like a New Year's resolution in some ways.
It does,
keeping yourself accountable and stuff too. And I think like changing your life doesn't necessarily like even that positivity, like
it was simple little things.
Yeah. I'm like changing your life doesn't necessarily mean to be like, and a lot of people, it's fitness, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to like drop down to like a size, whatever. And like all this stuff. And I'm like, sometimes it literally, your New Year's resolution can be something like,
be a better person.
I'm going to be a better person. Yeah, literally.
That's what it was for me.
Yeah. So I think too, like it doesn't have to be as crazy as people make it.
Right.
I don't know. That's like the one piece of advice I have for people.
Yeah. And again, like little things, they sound so simple or they sound so easy, but once you're conscious about them, it really makes a big difference.
And you know what else sounds like dumb, but even after I like read those statistics, I was like, I don't want to be that statistic. I'm like, and I think it's maybe like the entrepreneurial mind too. I'm like, I'm going to be that 9% that does it.
Yeah,
because
good.
I'm like, I don't want to like look back and then in a year from now be like, oh yeah, I'm just like everybody else and I quit my New Year's resolutions in January.
That's
like I
want to keep going. Entrepreneurial drive.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm like, I'm motivated to keep going. So I think that's important.
Yeah, good. Well,
cool. Well, I think that's it for today on New Year's resolutions anyway. So, stay accountable with all your friends.
Baby steps.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks so much for listening again. Again, we're available always on YouTube. Check us out, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and reach out to us. We have a membership as well.
Yeah.
Our community is ever growing and
lots of networking.
We're super excited this year. Yeah, we have a lot of really big goals with She's So Made and we're going to be implementing it. So follow us on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Have a good day.